Here's the history of how Peter Dinklage became one of the most successful Little People actors. Peter Dinklage was born in 1969 in New Jersey to a mother who was a music teacher and a father who was an insurance salesman, and neither of them had dwarfism. Peter and his brother Jonathan, who is now a concert master for Hamilton on Broadway, used to stage puppet musicals for people in their neighborhood. Peter's first stage experience came in the form of playing the lead in The Velveteen Rabbit in the 5th grade, and after that, he was hooked. He studied drama in college, and in 1991 took the leap to New York City to finally start his acting career, but it wasn't always easy. In the 90s, the only roles really being written for people with dwarfism were dehumanizing and demeaning, and he knew he absolutely did not want to do that. So how did Peter spend his free time? By joining a band. He was a co-frontman for a band called Wizzy. That was actually how he got that scar on his face from an injury during performing. He played an instrument, he sang, and if you look up the band on YouTube, you can hear some of their music. And after a lot of work, he finally landed his debut film role in Living in Oblivion, which was an indie film starring Steve Buscemi. And the next year started in a film called Bullet with Tupac, and despite getting a lot of good reviews from his work in Living in Oblivion and Bullet, he still could not get an agent to sign him. It would be years before he was offered an actually substantial role and not just a stereotypical dwarf role, and that came in the form of The Station Agent, which came out in 2003 and got him some award nominations, and that's when his career really took off. Over the next few years, he played a variety of roles, from fan favorites like Elf to questionable movies like Tiptoes. He appeared on stage in shows like Richard III, classics like Penelope, the Ryan Murphy series Nip Tuck, Pumpkin, and Prince Caspian, and 30 Rock, with each of these characters separating him from the tropes and stereotypes usually associated with characters who have dwarfism. And all of those years of rejection and having to pivot led him to his most iconic role in Game of Thrones. Tyrion Lannister not only became a household name, but he also helped Peter Dinklage become one of the most decorated actors with dwarfism in Hollywood history. Despite taking place in a fantasy world, his character portrayal really helped audiences see a different side of actors with dwarfism that they had never seen before in Hollywood. Since then, he's continued to remind the industry that people with dwarfism can play other characters besides Oompa Loompas or the Seven Dwarves, with his portrayal in movies like Cyrano, who was even in the Avengers, which I low-key keep forgetting about. He continues to play a variety of characters, from indie dramas to romance movies to movies like The Toxic Avengers, which is coming out soon. He's always been a vocal advocate for people with dwarfism being seen and heard and recognized within the industry, and although he's not the first person with dwarfism in Hollywood to advocate for these things, it definitely helps for him to do so. But let me know if you have a favorite movie of his. Comment it down below. Thanks for joining me for Dwarfism History. I love ya. Keep going.